Hi guys, welcome to my reading vlog. I hope all of you are safe and inside your homes. And honestly, I'm just thinking about all those underprivileged people for whom staying indoors is not as lovely as it is for us, because for us it's fancy, you know. We can read books, we can watch movies, and we can just enjoy our time at our homes. But for those people who earn their daily wages doing different kinds of jobs and everything, what will they do? And when I think about that, it just makes me so sad. But then the best thing that we can do right now is to be grateful and practice gratitude. So if you're at home and you are, you know, not feeling very good about everything, maybe you are an extrovert, and for extroverts it's a bit difficult to cope with such circumstances where they have to be stuck inside their house. So just practice gratitude, because it's not that easy for everyone, and it's just a good way to start your day. So start your day by practicing some gratitude, and then do whatever you want to do. Anyway, so I thought that I don't have any more books left to read, and I was freaking out because obviously we cannot order anything right now. I don't know if the services are available, but in general also I feel like we should refrain from buying anything online right now. I found this one book that I haven't read yet. I don't know how, but yeah, I have not read this book yet. This one, More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Such a beautiful book. Now it's such a vibrant book, like the book cover at least. So I have talked about this book in one of my videos where I talked about my top 10 books that are in my bucket list. So yeah, I'm finally going to read this book, and I'm going to vlog this entire experience. It's quite it's moderately a thick book, and I don't know how much time I will take to read this book. It depends on the book, obviously. Sometimes some books are like, wow, you start reading them and then you don't even remember when you end up finishing the book. On the other hand, some books are just so slow that anyway. So then I sat down to read the book with my breakfast, and for breakfast I usually have cornflakes with milk, because A, it's easy to make, and B, it's healthy. Now I'm not really a health freak, but if it's easy to make and if it's also healthy, then it is a really good option. Anyway, so then I started reading the book, and let me just give you a little bit of an idea about the book and its plot so that you know what I'm reading, okay? So this book is about this guy who has recently lost his father, and his father basically committed suicide, which is so sad and shocking. So he is going through all the stages of grief, and this book is a lot about grief and pain and suffering. So that happens, but his girlfriend Genevieve is a really nice person, and she has been there for him throughout his loss, and she has always saved him, you know, by being there for him. She has seen him cry like a baby, and that's why he's also very grateful that he has Genevieve, and he just loves her so much. Now he gets to know this guy Thomas, and they become friends, and when Genevieve goes to this art excursion, he gets really close to Thomas, and Thomas and he become best friends. And suddenly Genevieve and all his other friends feel like he is getting too close to Thomas, and he is sort of forgetting everyone else. So that's the basic story, and then a lot of things happen, and you wouldn't even realize that the characters that you don't think are that important will become so important. And oh my god, the story completely turns around after a certain point, and I was like, oh my god, I was scared. Now I love highlighting sentences and paragraphs that I find really amazing. I used to underline them with my pencil before, but now I use a highlighter because it's easy to identify later on. So if you want to see what I have highlighted, then keep watching the video. I will share what I actually have marked and I'll talk about that as well. Alright guys, quick update. I'm loving the book. I'm really loving its language. It's written in such a lucid language. So it's like you read the first sentence of the first page and you're like in it. It's so nice and it's so flowy. So I'm really loving it. Also, I highlighted 2 things that I found so endearing and so amazing. I will talk about that as well. Okay, now I'll make this stone apple juice thing, and I don't know what you call it in Hindi, but in Bangla we call it bel, and it's really nice. It's good for your immunity, it's good for your digestion, it's good for everything. So I'm going to make that, and but before that, let's wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. Alright, now let me quickly show you guys my diaries wherein I have jotted down all the quotations. So this is basically my collection of quotes, and you can see these diaries are not fancy. I've literally wrapped them with gift paper. They look like mithai ka dabba, but nonetheless they do the job. So I think this diary is like really old, from 2016 I guess. I don't even remember, but whatever. So as you can see, I've written down quite a lot of quotes, you know, Vivekananda quotes, Paulo Coelho quotes, Buddha quotes, and just different quotes. And I've also written some poems that I've collected from different sources. So Dreams, this is a really beautiful poem that I have collected from Reader's Digest. It is one of the most beautiful poems I've ever read. Also Youth, it's such a beautiful poem, you guys. You guys can like take a screenshot, I guess. It's a big poem, but it's amazing. So all these diaries are like really old, and they are filled with poems and quotations and names of books that I would want to read. So that's all. Now this is something that I highlighted in the book that I'm reading right now. So you guys can take a screenshot if you want and read it properly. I don't want to extend this video because then it will become so long. So after having lunch, I resumed reading the book again, and everything looks so purple because my room's windows have these purple curtains, and because it's so sunny outside, so now the room looks purple. I think that looks pretty cool and it looks amazing, you know. So it gives a really nice ambience. So yeah, it's fun to read my book while my room looks like a pub. I don't know, that's a really crazy combination, but nonetheless works for me. So I read throughout the afternoon, and then I stopped recording because my camera died and I had to put it for charge. And after the evening I had some work, but then I read till really late. I think I read till 1:30 a.m. that night, and I could only finish like 3/4 of the book. So the next morning I sat down to read the book again with this really delicious soup which my mom makes, and it's made out of oats, lentils and a lot of vegetables. It's really delicious. If you guys want to know the recipe, then it will be given in the description box. It's on my mom's channel. I think the recipe is amazing and it's really healthy. So yes, I sat down to read again, and I read like 3/4 of the book last night, and then the rest I read while I was having my breakfast. So yeah. Hi guys, so this is day 2 and I read till 1:30 a.m. last night, and then I slept, and then I spent the entire morning reading the book, and now I've just sat down to film something, and that's why I've changed and I have put on a little bit of makeup, if you can call it that. Okay. So now that I've finished reading the book, I want to talk about the book a little bit so that you get an idea about the book if you are at all interested. I think that the book is really nice, it's really great, and personally I am a huge fan of YA fiction. So when it comes to YA novels, I love them anyway because this is my favorite genre. The best part about the book is that it has a lot of twists and turns. So the characters that I thought were not that interesting or were not that important became like really important in the next half of the book, and I was sort of amazed. So yeah, I really liked that part and I was really amazed. I think that the twists and turns were at the right place. So another thing that I want to talk about a little bit is that usually when you are reading a YA novel, there are some quotations, some sentences, some paragraphs that are just so beautiful that you underline them and then you keep them with yourself for a really long time, right? But I think that was missing in this book. I showed you 2 highlights, right? And that was pretty much all. Like that was all. There was nothing else that I highlighted or felt like it was so beautiful and exquisite for me to underline them and go back to the book. So I feel like it was a nice read, I enjoyed it, but I will never go back to this book, you know. I will never read it again. So like The Fault in Our Stars, or there are so many other YA novels that I reread over and over again because they are just so beautiful and I just can't have enough of them. But with this book, I don't really think I will go back and read it again because it was a good read, but that was all. My god, I'm sweating so much. It's so hot and I have to like switch off the fan because otherwise there will be a lot of noise. Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much all for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this random vlog. It was nothing fancy, I know, but whatsoever, I feel like sometimes I can upload a vlog which is not something fancy and etc. I think anyway you guys have time, right? There are so many days left in this quarantine period and we don't know if it is going to end by the 21st day because I don't know, things are getting really crazy around the world. I just want to say one thing right now, and that is please have empathy for everyone. It is very important. So when I say empathy, I mean that when you look at a news piece, when you see random people who are still out on the streets, who are trying to go back to their homes in their villages, don't be like how can they do that, and don't say things like wow, they are so illiterate, they are so uneducated, how can they do that, they are putting our nation into risk and all of those things. Please don't say such things, because that just makes you really obnoxious, because no one wants to go out of their homes when everything is so risky. So yeah, I really don't think that anyone would voluntarily want to step out of their house and go to their village or go to their hometowns just for the sake of it. I think they are really going through a crisis, because not everyone has a lot of money that will sustain them for 21 days. And I know the government is trying their best, and they are trying to tell people that we will arrange a ration for you guys and we will arrange everything. But the thing is, yes, the government tries its best, but then we have a chain. There are so many people who are involved when it comes to these things, and it takes a lot of time for them to receive the ration and all of that stuff. So it's difficult, you know. Plus you have to depend on someone else to come and give you food. So we cannot really imagine what they are going through right now, and we cannot really experience their crisis right now. So the best thing that we can do is not be obnoxious and say things like they are uneducated, they are illiterate, that's why they are doing that. It has nothing to do with illiteracy. Just be empathetic towards the underprivileged. Don't say things like how can they do it, because you never know, because you are not in their shoes and you don't know what they are going through. So the best thing that we can do right now is to be grateful for everything that we have, and have empathy for everyone. And just please stay away from fake news, and stay away from a lot of news. It's not a good practice to always reading the same thing over and over again, because it will take a toll on your mental health. So just try to have a balance, know what's going on around the world, but don't dwell on it, because it's not going to give you anything. The best you can do right now is to stay indoors and keep yourself positive for the times that are going to come. So I really hope that you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. It will mean a lot to me. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.